Welcome to the Dad Having a Crack podcast.
Thanks, Brendan. First of all, congratulations on your big venture. I hope Dad Having a Crack gets you to where you want to be.
Well, yeah, we'll see. It's conversation about everyday dads and with everyday dads.
Sure.
Obviously, you're also been a dad.
Yep.
Still are a dad.
Still
now a granddad. Congratulations.
Now a grandfather for the first time, yeah.
So, by way of introduction,
sure.
The great Greg Conlan, chiropractor of over 30 years' experience.
Yes.
Cracking backs and helping dads feel well for a long time.
Yeah.
First, to kick things off,
sure.
Just want to start with a couple of light-hearted questions. Hopefully light-hearted, not too serious. Something that people would be surprised to hear about you.
That I would love to be a great banjo player.
A banjo player? Why a banjo?
Just picture myself sitting on the porch with the dog and a busted banjo, just listen to the music and letting the world go by. No, I really like the music.
Excellent.
A bit of an Appalachian man.
Very good. Excellent. All right. Well, you're strumming the banjo. What's your drink of choice? What's your go-to?
So I'll get plenty of criticism for this because it's an old man beer, Crown Lager, every day.
Oh, golden microphone. You can't knock it.
But you can't beat it.
A celebratory beer.
Celebratory beer used to be special once in a time. Now no one touches it. So we can take it anywhere. No one else is going to drink it. So that's a good thing about it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Excellent. And your go-to band or music?
Very Catholic taste. So we go all over the place with music, but I've been really enjoying this Little Maiko is the name, Puerto Rican rap.
Puerto Rican rap.
Puerto Rican rap, yeah. It's good music. A quiet taste, but I like it.
Excellent. We might revisit that first question then.
Yeah, no banjo in Puerto Rico.
No banjo, yeah. Well, it certainly surprised me. Puerto Rican rap. There we go. And anything on YouTube that you're watching in particular?
I'm mad on YouTube. I'm watching it all the time.
Yeah.
It goes all over the place, though. So today I was looking at Guy Martin with the Royal Marines, and he was jumping into ice and had to get out of this ice water. And
right,
just like seeing guys having a bit of a go, like having a crack.
Having a crack.
Yeah.
Having a crack at some immersion therapy.
Yeah, having some immersion therapy. That's really good stuff.
Yeah. So is that something that you've looked into? And the benefits of it?
No. See, I also like that TV program, Alone. Do you know that program? Just where men, women, it doesn't matter. They're put out there just to test their skills a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so put them out in the wild, got a couple of things they can take with them, see how they go. Yeah. I like those sort of shows.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I've spent a little bit more time looking at the SAS Australia and the Ant Middleton type activities where, those endurance.
Yeah. Well, they're testing each other out a bit, aren't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. I do remember one particular episode where they, everyone just had to jump in an ice, a pit of ice, and water, everyone just lost their train of thought.
Yeah.
Completely blew them away.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea.
A bit hard.
Yeah, I like the warm plunge.
Well, they asked these guys when he got him in the water, they kept him there for 30 seconds, and then they asked them the Royal Marine Creed, whether they could recite that under the pressure of the water. I thought that was pretty cool. And he could, to his credit.
Excellent. We better get stuck into the main topic that we wanted to cover today for dads in particular, and probably some that are middle-aged and starting to find those little challenges with staying healthy, keeping healthy, getting fit, keeping fit, fitting it all in. One of those things that probably we tend to struggle with when family kicks in and life takes over and finding space. But probably to kick off, how is it you became what got you interested in chiropractic therapy, and how did you become a chiropractor?
Well, like most people, there's something that's a sliding door event, isn't there? And mine was I was pretty fit back 40 years ago, and I hurt my back getting a jar of Vegemite out of a cupboard.
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. And I was a high school teacher at the time, and I was meant to go to school and do these things, and I did those things at the school sports. But on the way home, I thought, my back's killing me, and I went to my GP, and he gave me some pills, and I just couldn't quite work out how that was going to work. And I saw this physiotherapist, well known to me, and that was good, and that worked. He did what he did, and I saw him on Monday, Wednesday, Friday sort of thing.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine at the time said, "Why don't you come and see my chiropractor?" And I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But relented, and on the Friday evening finished up going through there, and he just did what he did. And as I tell people, there was no appearance of the Virgin on the mountaintop. It wasn't like there was this pain be gone. There was none of that. But what I recognised straight away was there was this movement in my back that made things different, and that really just lit me up.
Yep.
And there were a couple of things I was a little dissatisfied about with my teaching role, and so I just made the jump. And it was quite a leap, because it was back to school for another 5 years, and 5 years of poverty coming up, and that was pretty hard. But
it's had its benefits, though.
40 years later.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And I've experienced that sensation of effectively being turned into a pretzel by you on numerous occasions, wandering in thinking,
my pleasure.
This is going to be a miracle. Walking out thinking, what the hell's just happened to me? And then a couple of days later going, Greg was right, 100%.
Yeah, it got there.
Excellent. Anything in particular that you're passionate about in terms of helping men with their physical well-being?
Yeah, I certainly am. And it's for women as well. It's just not, I'm not going to, confine that to men, but there's definitely something about men which interests me, which, being one myself, I kind of have, I get it that things change and they alter, and I get how they change and how they alter. Mm. And I think, broadly speaking, we've just normalised not being that great, because most of us will look around and look at our half a dozen good mates, and chances are 2/3 aren't in the best of nick.
Dad bod's kicked in.
Yeah, dad bod kicks in, and the sore knee plays up a bit, and this shoulder this, and a whole lot of I can'ts becauses, those things pop in.
Yep.
But I don't know that's necessarily true.
Okay.
I think that dads can tend to shelve being well and take a bit of umbrage under I'm busy and I'm this and I'm that, I'm the other.
Yeah.
When I think there's a simple-ish way out of it. I don't think it's as complex or as hard as people make out.
Okay.
But they just haven't been shown the way.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly identify with feeling like you're overwhelmed with work, or certainly when little ones come along, and you just sort of lose sight of what used to work well for me. How did I go about doing this? Why did I do that? And that probably brings us to the overall theme of the podcast, or the discussion today is why is it so important, and how do we work out why we need to do certain things in terms of trying to be active, stay active, look after our health, and fix maybe those niggles that just won't go away.
Well, that's a pretty broad question.
Yep.
So,
is it how do men find the reason why they should do certain things?
You've hit it on the head as far as it's all about the why, because without the why, the rest is just throwing mud up against a wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
So the why is the thing that I discuss a lot with people, because the people will generally come to you and say, I'm a bit out of nick, and I think I'm going to do some yoga.
Right.
And so I said, great, yoga's great. Why? And I ask the question, why? And they think, well, isn't yoga good? I say, well, yoga's great. I just don't know how that fits with you and your intentions and what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
And most of them just think, oh, well, there's a yoga studio up the road, and, these blokes have told me I should do yoga, and one of them does it, and this is why it all fails.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't meet any real need, because that need hasn't been brought to the surface.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the biggest question people have is to work out exactly why they want to do something. And so I say to people, this is all about a piece of paper, a pen, a cup of tea, and some peace.
Yes. Which I know is something you've challenged me with a couple of times.
So I'm very consistent with this. It's just, it is to sit down, take a moment, work out what it is you're trying to achieve. You're 45 years old. Where do I want to be when I'm 50? Not where do I want to be by the beach holiday in Bali in 3 months. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is where do I want to be in 5 years, and then you can map a very simple, slow, easy path that, funnily enough, will probably take you exactly to where you want to go, but you
Yep.
just took the time to arrive at what it was you wanted in the first place.
Yeah.
Because once you've got that, then you can strategize what the tactic is. So otherwise, you're just throwing tactics at a wall and there's no meaning to it. And within 6 weeks, it'll be gone and it'll be another failed attempt at trying to resurrect a body that's just not doing what you quite want it to do anymore.
Easy to lose interest when you're not seeing gains or a benefit, and it's not related to something.
Yeah, it could be related to something. Yeah. So it's even less about the week-to-week gains. I measure things 3 months and 6 months and 12 months on whether someone's done something and, I've lifted my such and such and it's a bit heavier. No, I'm really not interested. Tell me you've done that for 48 weeks out of 52 and you've really got me interested.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's definitely a challenge that I've had over the time, and it's probably trying to get back into a particular activity more frequently. I'm keen with my golf. Love my golf. I've played it since I was a kid. And it's like, okay, well, that's drifted due to work and starting a family, and your priorities change, and golf distance itself, and you're like, okay, I'm going to get back into it. And all of a sudden, you've got the neck and the back and the shoulder. You're like, where the hell has that come from?
Where's it come from?
For me, when we had that conversation about the why and actually going away and working out, well, why am I running? It was one thing I couldn't work out. Did I enjoy it? Well, I used to enjoy it. But what benefit was I getting? Great cardio for a prolonged period of time, but I was finding I had sore knees and sore hips, and that was the thing for me that was, how do I adjust that?
And to what end were you doing it is also what is your objective here? It's not to say that running isn't good. Not judging running. I'm not judging any single thing. I'm just asking you why.
Why? And, again, it was a great question to ask because it wasn't necessarily helping me with my golf or trying to stay, get in the water and surf and be able to do that to some sort of standard. It's still working on it.
Sometimes, someone will say, I'm walking, and I'll say, why?
Yeah.
And I say, walking is good for you, isn't it? I say, well, I'm not saying it's not good for you. I'm just asking you why.
Yeah.
So, I want to lose a bit of weight. And I say, well, it's not very good at doing that. So if losing weight is the objective, first of all, what's the number you want to achieve? When do you want to achieve it by? And let's go and find a much better way to do that, which will probably involve not drinking those Crown Lagers on Friday night.
Or 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Once too many, 100's not enough.
So it's just about trying to find the why. And I would love people to spend a lot more time working on the why than they are by just jumping on the internet and joining some gym and being there for 3 or 4 weeks and then not being there. And it doesn't have to be set in stone. It's morphs and changes as you go along the road and go, you know what, I thought this was important to me, but it kind of turns out it's not important to me.
Yeah.
I've realised now after I've done this and this and this that I see some other guys and they're doing this thing. Gee, that looks really interesting to me. And wow, I would really love to be able to, I don't know, tumble turn or do something, whatever. I don't care what. It doesn't make any difference to me what it is people want.
What was that Brazilian dancing you were showing me one day?
Capoeira,
that's right.
Yeah, but so that's just a tool. If mobility is something that you highly is made as an objective, you go, well, that's capoeira. It's just the tactic. And you got to find what you're hunting in terms of an objective, and then you'll be able to find the things that meet your needs in terms of a tactic. Most people find the tactic and just chuck it up against the wall and think it's going to fix everything.
Yeah. So capoeira dancer, you don't necessarily need to be out running every day. You probably just need to be doing some mobility movement and some
mobility movement. Yeah, and that might be capoeira or it might be something else.
Fair enough. It's a simple way to describe it, and I think finding something tangible, in particular for guys that are looking to reconnect with a particular activity or find time to do something they used to enjoy doing, which as part of the overall theme of what we're trying to dive into here, with Dad having a crack. It's about having a crack at either something new or reconnecting and having a crack at something that you really enjoy doing. Finding that time, either incorporating it as a part of family life, health and fitness, well-being, or your job.
Yep.
Obviously some people struggle with, skeletal issues with being at work in certain positions all day.
I use it also as rather than tell my kids what to do. It's just I'm not telling them to exercise, but they see me exercise.
Yes.
So it's dad as model, dad as it's not this is what you should do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. This is what I am doing, and
it's a great motivator.
Please yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set an example.
It's the example. They can choose to follow or not follow. That's their business. But having that as a model makes it a lot easier to do something good.
Yeah. Well, and again, the motivation to stay fit and healthy, to be active with your kids is important as well. And again, for me, that was one of my whys. It was, I want to be fit and healthy for as long as I possibly can to stay active with my kids and be able to be around. Firstly, be around and be well in being around and being able to participate in their activities. Daughters, big into footy. We go for a run and we run with purpose. So we'll do a minute on, minute off, bit of interval, helping her build a bit of stamina and a bit of recovery. Keeps me connected with running to a degree. I don't do it anywhere near as much as I used to, but that's a good thing. And it's time for us to go and connect and do something together.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Love it. Little fella's mad keen on basketball and he's playing rugby, although he's just hurt his knee. So he's got just had him at an MRI this morning. So, but yeah, played his first full game at scrum half on the weekend, but cracked patella. So took a shot for goal, had his first shot at goal, and I think that was the final little straw that has injured that. So that's a bit of a struggle for him at the moment. But that said, it's great to get out there and kick the ball around with him and help him out with his basketball. So for me, that's a big why. And then, setting that example of getting up every morning, and whether it's every morning, and again, whether it's 10, 15, 20 minutes of, I get the resistance bands out, get the skipping rope out, and just finding a way to do something active. They can see it. They recognise it, go, Dad's up doing his skipping. And then after that, it's right, go time. Lunches, school, get ready for work.
Sure.
So that's, a way I think that helps them see what I'm doing to try and be part of, their physical activities.
Well, I think you're being a good role model.
Yeah, well, hopefully. But yeah, so it's, I think it's really important for dads, like you say, and women for that matter, again, find that why. Yeah. For me, when we had that conversation, I went away and worked it out. It took a bit of adjusting because I probably pushed too hard.
Well, most of us have a pattern.
Yeah.
So that pattern's built in the past. You're a runner, you're a golfer, whatever you were. And you tend to continue to identify as that thing, and that's just what you do, and it's unthinking and it's just habitual and whatever. But I think keeping that the same while you are indeed changing by the year, by the decade, should be demand a little bit of inspection. So you're not what you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That doesn't mean that you capitulate, but it means you have to just re-level, readjust, and think, right, is this doing what I need it to do at this particular phase of my life? There's no point training as if you're going to play a game of football because that was, X years ago. You got to adjust, think, now, okay, well, I'll just lower my sights here a little bit. I don't need to be jumping. I don't need to be tackling, crashing packs and things because you'll just hurt yourself. So, and that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, well, the torn hammy the day I turned 40 playing basketball was a nice reminder that actually sport, you're not 21 anymore.
You're not 21.
You just tick 40. Right. So
so just adjust your sights a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why it usually takes some sort of crisis. So it usually takes an injury.
Yep.
Or some health crisis for people to go, oh, what's happening here? How am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? And this is where we're lacking information, and we're just lacking that, all right, hold the horses here, reappraise, recognise that every dad, every mum, every dad, doesn't matter. You show me someone who's 35, 40 plus. I'll show you someone who's got a sore this, dodgy the other. Well, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't stop you, though. It just means you have to use a little bit more thought and just adjust, acclimatise to a different setting. That's all.
Are you having people that come in, again, some of those middle-aged men coming in that you think you need a little bit of encouragement to maybe go and see another medical practitioner, whether it's a GP or a physio?
Yeah,
Are you having to give people a nudge?
People need a big nudge. And one of the big things I say to people is that you need to build a team.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to build a team. So that team it's your GP, it's your physiotherapist, chiropractor, osteopath. I have little interest in what your team is, but it's got to be a team that you trust and respect.
Yep.
And just take advice from people who know. And just, once again, with those people, with some sort of vision about your why, where it's going to take you, with these guys, if your vision is to run up Mount Kilimanjaro when you're 50, good. But you might have a chat to your doc, and your doctor says, well, judging by that heart of yours, it's probably not the best of ideas.
Yes.
So if you want to do that, we might have a bit of a 5-year plan of, dropping 10 kilos, working on those knees, seeing your chiropractor, your physio, whatever, building up your back, your this, your that, whatever. And just slowly you can do most things. It's not ridiculous to go up Mount Kilimanjaro, but it might be ridiculous to go up there tomorrow.
Yeah, fair enough. It's like the I'm going to run a marathon this year, and you sort of go,
yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, you see a bit of that?
A lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
And do you?
And as someone who's ran 8 of them myself, I succumb to the same thing. So.
I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, it's just because. Yeah.
Just because?
Yeah, just because. Yeah, which makes no sense at all.
Yeah, again, touching on the running again, I was like, I've done a half when I was 18, and that was it for me. I thought, it's too much.
Yeah, well, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got to, get to that 18, 19K. I have huge admiration for anyone who runs a marathon.
Yeah, it's a big effort, isn't it?
Yeah, but then again, it comes back to that question, why? I think
the question why. Yeah.
Well,
mine was a bet. That's why
Okay.
that was my first one. It was just a bet. Yeah. The bet was 40 bottles of beer, actually, as it matters.
Crown Lager?
No, it wasn't Crown Lager. It was 40 bottles of beer. I just remember that.
Okay.
And it was we were at a wedding the Saturday night before the Sunday morning marathon.
Right.
And my previous longest run had been 11 kilometres.
Okay.
So it was a long day. Yeah, it was a long day.
That's sounding very familiar to someone.
But I was 18 years old, so
18.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. And then where did
not crediting anyone at 18 with any brains.
No, mate. There's some silly decisions.
Yeah,
at 18.
some bad decisions.
Yeah. And then probably making, different types of silly decisions, like trying to achieve too much or trying to take on too much.
Or take on too much. Not even knowing they're taking on too much.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Just everything gets added onto the plate, doesn't it?
The ignorance of the unknown.
Yeah. Or the sense of obligation. So I think a lot of men suffer from this notion of, Johnny wants to play basketball. Oh, good, Johnny. That's great. You play basketball. And then, I remember I said this to one of my sons one time, and he said to me, Dad, I want to play basketball. I said, great. That's really good. I said, pity about your footy.
Right.
And he said, no. He said, basketball's Wednesday, Friday, and footy's Tuesday, Thursday. And I said, that's not what this is about. I said, this is about the interaction of the whole family here. But, some people will put that on their plate. I'm not judging them for it, but recognise by now you're carting a kid around to another 2 places a week that you're now just your valuable time as a father. It's bleeding a lot into more for the kids, and that's okay. But recognise that you're slicing out some of your available time to look after yourself.
You touched on a really important point there, and I think that juggle of trying to juggle all of the things, comes back to that, how do you find time for yourself, whether it be that 20-minute exercise. And, we all cram in so much now with, kids' commitments. It's five nights a week in a lot of cases, and then sports Saturday and Sunday. It becomes
something gives, and it's often the parents' physical well-being, let alone, I can't speak to mental well-being because it's not my area of expertise, but I'm capable of powers of observation, and you see it.
Yeah.
So you do have to be very, very careful about carving out some sort of space to meet your objectives in amongst that maelstrom of raising a family.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're not active in that space, you'll just find yourself just slowly swamped, and then you'll look up and go,
Yeah.
that's where I am.
What happened?
How did we get here?
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard to unwind a lot of those things once they like they often say, saying yes gives you a year of problems, but saying no will be painful then, but give you a year of no problem.
Yeah. Okay. And that again, that's a really interesting point, because there's probably a couple of things that used to niggle for me, up the top here in the shot. And again, I've seen you a bit in relation to that, but since adjusting and working out why, why am I doing that particular thing as opposed to that particular thing, and it's probably taken me a good couple of years to nut it out and go.
And that's why I said that piece of paper. That piece of paper, you turn it over at some point and cross out what's on this side and turn it over, because you're going to adjust it as you sort of understand more and more.
Yeah. I feel like at 46, the penny's finally dropped and gone, you know what?
No, I'd say it's dropping.
Dropping? Okay. There's still some
because I'm not sure I'm not sure that mine's dropped yet.
Okay. All right. Well,
and I've got a couple more miles on the clock than 46.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
In fact, one of the things and so I'm going to cut everybody a lot of slack. I've been telling most people that it's been about the last 2.5 years that I haven't had an injury, and that I've trained very, very consistently at what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've finally worked out the what I call the 80% rule.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, which is. When I walk into the gymnasium that I attend to, as I walk in the door, I give myself a little knock on the head and say, 80%, dickhead, be here tomorrow.
Yes, and a great reminder too, again, of how hard you need to push yourself. And
we don't need to push yourself that hard.
Yeah.
So what I think we'll find is that the dads, you're still sort of in the, you might be 45, 46, but your brain's still about 17.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing some activity, and you're not comparing yourself to the next 46-year-old. You're comparing yourself to some 26-year-old.
That's
and that ego has to be just recognised. Recognise that it's there. Don't recognise it as good or bad. It's just it's there.
Yeah.
But recognise that it's not the right thing to be doing, and you've got to just pull this back. You don't have to compete with that kid on the bench press machine. He's going to kick your backside.
Yeah.
And even if you do keep up with him, you'll probably tear your pec tendon.
Yes.
And then you're out for 3 months or whatever you're out for.
And someone will be getting referred to you for some sort of treatment.
Yeah, someone's going to be doing a rehab program. So one of the things that we say, talk to dads, is just, you've got to think, okay, be real, be relevant. Just you're here for the long wheel. You're not here to try and beat your kids or anything like that.
Yeah, great point.
They'll kick your backside.
The other one that I've found can be super distracting is the online influencers, and I found trying to dive into a few different types of exercises, trying to find that that sweet spot of what might work and what So there's been some great there's some great material in terms of different types of mobility exercises, but I'm finding the more you look at resistance and weights, it can really be misguiding in terms of what, I suppose, clouds your judgment around what you're actually capable of versus what that probably...
So the advice always starts at, whenever you're looking at these things, if this guy's not, in your particular case, if this guy's age doesn't start with a 4, don't go there. Right. So your challenge is going to be say, well, here's this young fella. Gee, that looks really interesting. That looks really cool. He's 22 years old.
Yeah.
No, let's not be silly here.
Measure it.
But find some guy who's in your peer group who's doing some things that you think, wow, that looks pretty interesting. Well, it might be okay.
Yeah.
It might be. But once again, it's still got to meet your why. It doesn't just look interesting.
Well, I think that's the really important point here is going back to your why and why that's and again I feel like men are easily influenced by firstly their ego and then secondly the comparison. You draw comparisons on that person does this and it's everywhere. It's in everyone's face every day.
Yep.
You look at something and go, oh geez, why is that guy or why is that person able to do that?
Yeah,
I should be able to do that.
I should be able to do that.
And then it all comes unstuck. Yeah.
Competition has kicked in.
Yeah. Not ideal.
Well, you show me two men and a ball, and I'll show you nothing social.
Why? Yes.
There's nothing social.
No.
I'm going to beat you.
Yeah. Mixed netball got banned at work.
Yeah.
Too many injuries. Too competitive.
Injuries. Some guy takes out some poor woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Great discussion. Covered some really good topics. And I think there's a bit in that for some people to take away and have a think about what it is they're doing and why they're doing it. Just want to finish up with a little part of the discussion called the crack tip. Just want to share a piece of advice for anyone listening today. What's the one thing they could take away from this and go, I need to have a think about that. I need to adjust this.
Build your why and build your team.
Yeah.
So you must know what you want to achieve, and not in the next 3 weeks, 3 months. The next 4 to 5 years is a good starting point. It goes quick enough, as we all know.
Yeah.
So Brendan could pick, Operation 50. What's Brendan going to be able to? What's he going to be? Where's he going to be at?
Yep.
Age 50.
Yep.
And then you just strategize to that, rather than just throw things up against a wall, and build your team. So build your team means get the right GP. Not just any GP. Get the GP who's actually there, is going to get what you're trying to achieve.
Yep.
Get the people around you. Get a personal trainer. I don't mind Instagram or any of these things too, but just choose carefully.
Yep.
Just build that team of people you think, I can follow this through, because we're really, really information rich. Just not every bit of information is good.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got to build your team and be prepared to shift and change a bit.
Well, I think as things come up. You throw the dermatologist in there, the skin, as you age, there's different things. There's family history.
Yeah.
For me, it's the, testing out the cardiologist and, bit of history there in the family. So you've got to,
It's a snap of the rubber glove, Brendan.
Yeah. What's happened what's happened in the past? Are we looking for any repeat performances, and do we need to keep an eye out for certain things?
Yep.
Yeah. You can't outrun genetics. So, I think, again, fantastic advice for guys to, don't ignore it. Put your health team together. Understand why, again, why you're doing certain activities and why you're putting a certain health team together.
And it's all about being proactive, I remember seeing my doctor some time ago, and it was the first time I met the man, and he said to me, hi, Greg, so what's wrong? I said, well, there's your first mistake.
Right.
I said, I'm not here for you to fix broken things. I'm here for you to look after me in an ongoing way.
Yep.
I picked you because you're the same age as me, roughly. So you've got to have the same sort of legacy issues, the same things that are on your mind, I want to be on my mind. How to keep well, not how to try and fix broken things.
Yep. Yep.
It's super important.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Any quick takeaways, any particular people to listen to that might help dads with, or books to read?
Well, probably not Puerto Rican rap.
Yep.
I choose very widely. It may not be wisely. I choose very widely. I think there's a lot of stuff out there to be listened to, but fundamentally you've got to act. We can listen to a whole host of stuff and fill your brain with a whole heap of stuff, but fundamentally keeping things simple.
Yep.
And act. You show me someone who's doing that, I'll show you someone who's getting better.
Well, I think we've got 3 really important points to take away. My takeaway is understand your why, keep it simple, and act on it.
And act, keep it simple, build your team, act on it.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, build your team, and act on it. It sounds pretty solid. Thanks so much for joining me today, Greg. It's been a really insightful discussion, and I hope plenty of people out there can get something out of it. And
let's hope so. And I hope your podcast can gather some ground and help the dads in the world out there, because they need a bit.
Yeah, well, looking forward to getting a few of them in here and just having a general discussion with everyday dads, and finding a way that they can, listeners out there can relate to what everyday dads are up to and what they're having a crack at.
Yeah.
Excellent. Cheers, Greg.
Thanks, Brendan.